Hello, what's up YouTube? In this tutorial I'll show you how I did the makeup for this very image in Photoshop, and I'm just going to be using simple tools, and it's going to be a very simple and easy to follow tutorial when it comes to adding digital makeup within Photoshop. And let's be makeup artists for this very tutorial. So just want to transform the image from looking like this to looking like this using just Photoshop. You can see a before and after. So I'm just going to come straight to this image right here, and that is what I'm going to be working with. And what we have to take into consideration, we're just going to be using frequency separation to apply the makeup in most instances when you're working on this image. So the very first thing we want to do, or we want to cover for this very tutorial, is first of all working on the eyebrow right here. So we just want to enhance and paint in those details within the eyebrow of our model. So I'm just going to come right here, and you're going to come to the new layer adjustment right here and create a new layer right here. So we are just going to rename that to eyebrow. So remember, before you do everything, you have to make sure that you retouch your image first so that you can have the best workflow for your image. So you're just going to create a new empty layer and rename it to eyebrow. So we're just going to come to the brushes, simply right click and get a brush tool. And for settings, usually we are going to be using a hardness of 0%, and come right here and make sure we have black on top. So just click on these two small boxes and make sure that it is black in color. So after doing that, the next thing we are going to do, you're just going to zoom in the image just like that. So we're just going to zoom in on the eyebrows slightly up to around there, and you can reduce on the size of your brush by using the bracket keys on the keyboard. So the left bracket key is going to reduce on the size. So after doing this, what we want to do, just come and make sure the brush is as small as possible, or it is on the size of the eyebrows. So you're just going to simply come and make a stroke on the skin. So that is a little bit intense, or it is a little bit too much. So what you're going to do, you're just going to hit Ctrl Command Z, and you're going to reduce on the size even more and just make another stroke. That is still big. We're just going to make it smaller, reduce it smaller, and I'm just going to make a stroke. And that is a little bit much. So reduce it once again and make it so this size is okay. So remember, the eyebrow is not, or the hairs within the eyebrows are not black or very dark. So just want to sample that color. So we're just going to hold down the alternate key, and so when you hold down the alternate key on the keyboard with the brush tool selected, it's going to bring up the eyedropper tool. So we're just going to come and sample a color that is within the eyebrows, or the darkest area of the eyebrows. I'm just going to sample that color, and that looks okay. And I'm just going to paint once again within the eyebrows to see if at all it blends in. That is okay, but it is a little bit intense. So I'm just going to hit Ctrl Z to undo. I'm just going to reduce on the size even more to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to start painting in. So hold down the left click. So left click and start drawing just like that. And you can see the hairs we are trying to fill in are just looking more like the hairs that were existing within the eyebrows. So I'm just going to draw these hairs just like that. Just going to continue drawing them. But you can see as we are drawing these hairs, they're a little bit more on the brown side. So don't mind if at all they're a little bit over or too brown. And don't mind if at all you paint and you go out of the eyebrow. So just come and simply draw just like that. So but make sure that the brush is as small as possible, because we don't want to the hairs to be very big, because that is going to be unnatural and really unrealistic. So just come and draw those hairs just like that. But the hairs here are not totally, or they are not very black. So you're just going to come and fill in with another color, which is going to be slightly on a darker end, but on the shade of the same color that we are trying to paint in this very image. So just going to paint in just like that. So don't mind if at all you go out of this, because we're going to be fixing that later on. So just look at a quick before and after. So this looks at kind of rough because we're just going to fix that next. So we're just going to come right here and simply double click on this color right here and simply drag this slightly down towards the darker end of this color. So just drag it down to make it darker, and you're just going to use the same color and paint it, and that is a little bit too much. So I'm just going to double click right here and simply desaturate it just like that by taking it towards the left hand side. That is going to desaturate that, and I'm just going to come and paint in, and that is a little bit too much, so I feel like I have to desaturate it even more. So I'm just going to desaturate it up to around there. That looks okay, but it is a darker desaturated color, so I'm just going to come and paint in. That is a little bit too much. Let me try zooming out. That is a little bit too much, so I'm just going to reduce and make the strokes smaller so that they can slightly blend in within the image. So I'm just going to draw with very smaller strokes just like that, and that is going to make the eyebrow a little bit more on the natural side. So I'm just going to come and draw some more strokes within this, and it's going to make it look a little bit more on the real side. So just going to come and paint in through with just small strokes of another brush. So don't mind if at all you mess up somewhere somehow, but we just want to make it as natural and as real as possible so that it doesn't look very dark and we still retain the original colors that were within the eyebrow area. So let's just darken that. So we're just going to do that, and when we are done doing this, we're just going to shape the eyebrow. Remember, as we are painting through these tiny lines, it is as well going to be going out of the eyebrow. So just come and paint in just like that. So as we're doing this, you can see that the eyebrow is now taking shape. So just look at a quick before and after, and I'm just going to come to the opacity and simply reduce on the opacity because I feel like that was a little bit too much, and just come and paint in just like that with a brush of a slightly lower opacity, and this is now getting to look better. So remember, the strokes were going slightly out of the eyebrow selection, so just come and get your eraser tool right here and make sure the mode is on brush, opacity and the flat 100%, and we're just going to come and reduce on the size of the eraser tool and simply shape the eyebrow. So this is going to be eliminating the colors that or the strokes that were going out of the eyebrow just like that, and you can see right now we are trying to shape or get a better and more refined shape for the eyebrow, and it is eliminating the extra strokes that went out of the eyebrow just like that. So we are now done shaping the eyebrow of our model right here. So this is the before and after, before after. So next thing that you have to take into consideration is, I'm just going to slightly take this higher to around 78. The next thing we are going to do is applying frequency separation. So we're just going to create frequency separation, and because when you are trying to paint in the shadows or the lipstick of a model, it is going to look a little bit unrealistic if at all you don't use frequency separation. Remember, we want to paint these colors so that they can be between the normal skin tone color of the model and also the textures of the image. So just going to come and merge these two layers by pressing Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard or Shift Alternate Command E on the keyboard, create a stamp visible layer, and we're going to duplicate that layer twice. So press Ctrl J twice, and we're going to name this to low, and you're going to name this layer into high just like that. So we are going to now deselect this and select the low frequency layer. Simply come to filter, then come to blur and come to Gaussian blur just like that, and we are going to use a radius of around, make sure you use the radius of around between 6 and 7. So I'm just going to be using 7 and simply press OK and come to the high frequency layer, now activate it. Then this doesn't matter depending on your image bit depth, so you can either play the actions for your frequency separation, whether you apply an 8-bit or 16-bit kind of frequency separation action, it doesn't matter. So just come to image, come to apply image, And after doing that, just come to this layer and select the low frequency layer, because we just want to apply it or subtract the textures from the low frequency layer. The blend mode is going to be subtract, opacity at 100, the scale is to offset 128, and make sure invert is not checked and the channel has to be RGB, and simply press OK. Come to the blend mode and change it from normal and change it all the way down to linear light, and that is okay. So we want to group these two layers by selecting Ctrl and clicking on both and pressing Ctrl G on the keyboard, put them in a group, and we can name that to frequency separation, just like that. So we are going to simply open up the frequency separation group, and after doing that, just come and select the low frequency layer, and we are going to start creating those layers for creating the eyeshadow, the eyeliner, and everything we want to work on this image. So just come and select the low frequency layer and come and create a new layer. So just want to create our colors or makeup within the middle of the high frequency and the low frequency layer. So just come and select the low frequency layer and simply create a new layer. So the very first thing we want to work on in this image is going to be the eyeliner of the model right here. So just come and rename this layer to eyeliner, just like that. My spelling, so eyeliner. And with that done, just come right here and get your brush still with the same settings that we are using before. And with that done, just come back and click on right here, and since the eyeliner is black in color, just come and click and make sure you have black right here. So you select black and simply press OK. Now you have to zoom in and simply with the brush tool increase on the size of your brush tool right there. And now just come and draw over the eyeliner, and you can see as we are drawing this line right here, it is keeping the original details that were in the image, simply because we are applying this eyeliner between our frequency separation or between the information of the image. I hope I'm making sense. So just come and draw that. And this looks weird, I know. Just come back and get your eraser tool with the same settings that we are using before, and simply eliminate what you don't need. Just come and paint just like that, and just come and eliminate that sharp or that blunt area just like that. And you can come and eliminate or rub away the extras that you don't need from the eyeliner, and that is going to be a better job. So we are now done drawing the eyeliner, and you can see the image is now getting or taking shape. So anything that we are going to do, basically we are going to come and start applying the eyeshadow. So we are going to come and create another layer, and we are going to rename it to eyeshadow, just like that. And you're going to, with this layer selected, just come right here and choose a color that you want your eyeshadow to represent. So for this case, let's take a different approach. We're just going to come and we choose maybe a color of eyeshadow. We just want to prefer this. Let's go with a very bright color, just like that. This is okay, and simply press OK. So with the brush tool selected, you can come and simply paint or dab over where you want the eyeshadow to pass in the image. So just come and draw just like that, and you can see this doesn't look okay right now, but it's going to be better. So just come and draw your eyeshadow right there. So this is a little bit weird and it looks weird, I know. So just want to eliminate it from the extras in the image. So just come and use your eraser tool right here, and you can come and simply increase on the size of the eraser tool and eliminate away or get away the extras from the image, just like that. And we're just going to simply eliminate those extras, and you can see right now we're just adding those definitions within the eyeshadow. But I feel like this color is a little bit weird, so I'm just going to simply redo this process. I'm just going to undo the process for this eyeshadow. So I'm just going to get a better color. So you have to be very nice and selective when it comes to choosing the right color for the eyeshadow. I'm just going to choose a very brighter color. Just choose that color. I'm just going to press OK and just come back and draw using my brush tool. And this is going to look even better, just like that. I feel like the red is very nice and better. And now come and get the eraser tool and simply eliminate or get away the extras, just like that. And this looks great. It looks okay. And if at all you want to apply back the color, you can come and apply it back just like that. And you can apply that, and this looks great. It looks okay, but it is now not really that perfect. So just come to the blend mode, and you're just going first of all look at the color blend mode, and that is going to make it look better. So just come and change the color, the blend mode to color, and you can now come use the eraser tool and simply eliminate or get away that color, just like that. So if at all you feel like it is not blending even more within the skin, you can come and double click on this eyeshadow layer, and you can use the blend if tool. So just come right to the underlying layer right here, and you can drag this and eliminate it away from for example the darkest area, just like that, and hold down the alternate key on the keyboard, and you can split this so that it can blend better within the skin, just like that. And that looks okay and natural, and it looks realistic. So for this case, we're just going to get a darker color to get this area even darker and make it very or slightly different from the original color that we added to the eyeshadow. So we're just going to create another layer, and we're going to name that to dark shadow, just like that. And we're going to come right to the colors, click right there and choose a color that is slightly darker than that. Just come and drag this down and press OK, and with the brush tool selected, just come and draw over the eyeshadow, just like that. And you can see this creates a slight bit of contrast within the eyeshadow. And if at all you want to make it a little bit more realistic, you can come and change the blend mode to color if at all you wish to, and that is going to make that slightly glow. Or you can as well darken it even more by changing the blend mode to matte plus. So you can as well add a blend mode of darken, and that is going to make it even better. So we are now done working on the eyeshadow area of the model. So let's first of all take a moment and work on the lipstick. So for the lipstick, you're just going to create another empty layer within the frequency separation group, and you're going to name that into lipstick. And with that done, you're just going to come with the brush tool selected. You're just going to choose a color that is as well, or a color that looks like this area. So you can hold down the eyedropper tool, or get the eyedropper tool by holding down the alternate key on the keyboard and simply left clicking to sample the darkest color within the eyeshadow. If at all you want the eyeshadow to match the lipstick of the model, you can now zoom in by using Ctrl Command plus on the keyboard and start painting on the lip area. So this may not look natural at the very start, but we're just going to be refining that later on. So just come using the brush tool, and it is a soft round brush. You're just going to simply paint over the lips of the model, and in this way we are just going to be adding lipstick to the model's lips, just like that. You're just going to paint in just like that, and it looks okay, it looks great. And now what I want to do in this case, I'm just going to come and blend it into the image and make it a little bit more realistic. So for this case, I'm just going to come to the blend mode and change it to I'm just going to use darken. You can as well use multiply if at all you wish to. I'm just going to be using darken for this case so that the lips can match the eyeshadow of the model. And when you want this to look a little bit more realistic, you have to take it away from the shadow areas, and the highlights. And simply what we're going to be using, we're just going to be using blend if once again. So just come and double click on the lipstick layer. That is going to open up a layer style dialog box, and simply click on these two triangles to take it out from the shadow areas, just like that, and stop at that point when the effect is now getting out of the shadow area, and hold down the alternate key on the keyboard to split these two, just like that. And you can split this just like that to make the lipstick realistic. And you can as well reveal back the naturalness in the highlighted area. So hold down these triangles and take them up to when the highlighted areas are now displaying, and you can as well split this and reveal back the highlighted areas to make this look a little bit better and realistic in this case. So just going to press OK, and that looks okay to me. So anything that we're going to do, we are going to simply come and add that nice and beautiful glow line on top of the lip. So you know what to do, create that new empty layer, and we're going to name that to glow, and simply press and simply zoom in, and we want to choose a color that is representative of, or a representation of this color right here. So hold down the alternate key on the keyboard, and that is going to bring up the color sample tool or the color picker tool or the eyedropper tool, and simply left click on that color, and it is going to sample that color. And simply what we're going to do, we're just going to draw over that color just like that, and that looks okay. So you don't want to take it all the way down, just want to add a subtle feel to it. So get the eraser tool and simply eliminate the extras just like that, and that is going to add that nice and beautiful glow on the lip of the model. So the last thing that we want to do, basically we just want to add some kind of contouring right on the cheek area. So for this, we're just going to simply come, get the lasso tool right here, and make sure this mode is selected, or we just want to add to selection, or you select the add to selection mode and simply come. So we just want to contour this area, we just want to add a little bit of definition to this area right here, and we just want to add more definition and contour that area like the makeup artists do basically. And after doing that, we're just going to come right here and create a solid color adjustment layer, and with that done, we just want to get a darker color for the skin tone of the model. So we're just going to come and simply sample the skin just like that, and click right there, and you can see it's going to sample the skin of the model, and we just want to slightly darken and contour that area. That looks okay, and simply press OK. And this looks weird, so you know what to do, simply double click on this layer and come back to blend if and blend this effect better into the skin. So just want to take it out from the bright area, so take this up just like that and split this even better, and take it away from the dark areas or the darkest areas just like that, and hold down the alternate, and you can now come and split this. But I know this looks a little bit unnatural or unrealistic. We're just going to come and press OK on the keyboard. So after doing that, we're just going to come the opacity and simply dial down or reduce on the opacity of our contouring process. So what we want to do basically, we are now done applying the basic makeup details within the image, and this is the before and this is the after. Before after, just look at what we have done. So next thing that we want to do, we just want to refine the image even more, and so that it can even look better. So we're just going to color grade the image and make it a little bit better, because I feel like it's a little bit blown out and the image is overly bright. So I'm just going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard, or you can as well use Shift Alternate Command E on the keyboard and create a stamp visible layer, and come right here to filter and come down to the camera raw filter. And with that done, it is going to open up the camera raw filter. So just want to add more contrast to the image so it can even stand out better. So just come and add contrast, and you can come and take the highlights of the image down and also take the whites down just like that, and that is going to add more contrast to the image. And you can as well add a little bit of clarity. Come down to our color mixer and come the luminance and simply darken that even more just like that, and you can see the contouring is now evident within the image. And you can as well come and press OK. So just going to go back into Photoshop and simply come to the hue and saturation adjustment layer and come under the red channel, and under that you're just going to come and take down the lightness just like that, and that is going to make the image look a little bit better. You can as well come the oranges and also take the lightness down, and after that just come to the selective color option and come under the blacks right here and simply add blacks to the image so it can even pop a little bit more and better. And you can as well add a little bit of blues to our blacks just like that. And after doing that, the last thing that we want to do, or last thing that we would love to do, is simply whitening the eyes and teeth of a model. So just come back to the hue and saturation adjustment layer and simply come the master, make sure master is selected, and simply desaturate this up to around negative 97. After that, simply make sure the white layer mask is selected, press Ctrl Command I on the keyboard, and make sure you have white on top. So make sure you click on these two small boxes to have back black and white, and you can use X on the keyboard to switch in between black and white. So make sure white is on top, and simply get your brush tool, opacity and the flat 100%, and it has to be a soft round brush, meaning the hardness is at 0%. And right now you can zoom into the image and simply paint to whiten. So just paint on what you feel should be white in your image to do the eye whitening, and that is going to add a better and more defined feel to the image just like that. And you can zoom into the teeth and also do a little bit of teeth whitening right here so that we can eliminate the colors within the teeth. So just zoom out, Command minus, and this is what we have right now. So let me show you a quick before and after for this image and for the makeup in general. So this was the image initially before, and this is after, before, after, before, and after. So basically this is how to do realistic makeup within Photoshop. And if at all you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. If at all you have been watching and you're not subscribed this channel, Ronix from Ronix Photography, thank you for watching. I'll see you in yet more amazing tutorials, and don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.